Hi everyone, welcome to Yes I Am podcast. My name is Arman. I'm your host. Make sure to follow our Instagram at YA_Yes I Am. Yes I Am founded in 2019 with a mission to build a generation of extraordinary leaders and discomfort seekers. We create a community for OSU students to find their why and step out of their comfort zone. At Yes I Am, our why wakes us up every morning to seek discomfort. We wake up confident and inspired to work hard. We love what we do. We fail, we learn. We fail again, and we just keep learning. We go to bed at night that today was better than yesterday, and tomorrow will be a brand new day. There is nothing we can do or be because our why is stronger than any challenge. We are positive thinkers, we are givers, and we are very, very grateful. Yes, I am is our lifestyle, and we are Yes, I am. Again, welcome to Yes I Am, everyone. It's happy to be back with you all. Today we have Cyan with us as our guest. A little bit about Cyan. She's a graphic designer and illustrator. She's majoring in design and innovation management. She done a lot of leadership works, and I believe this conversation today gonna be one of the most interesting conversations that we had here at Yes I Am. So before we start, welcome to Yes I Am, Cyan. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm just really happy to be here and kind of discuss all the habits you guys are talking about and just learn as much as I can.
Fantastic. It's great. It's very great having you today. To just start, tell me your story, Cyan. And while you're saying that, tell us who you are and what is your why. Why you get up every morning.
Okay, that's a really, really loaded question, so it might take a little bit, but basically, I am the oldest of four siblings, and like my family is super important to me. They're all my younger siblings are all sisters, so we're pretty close, and my family means a lot. I do have two sides, but they are super super interesting because one household is all engineers. They're very into like IT, all that kind of stuff, and then my other household, they are artists. So it's a very very fun balance between creative and kind of technology. Uh, kind of where I am from Beaverton, Oregon. So I grew up there and went to OSU right after high school. I was originally studying mechanical engineering and I loved it. It was really fun. I made a lot of good friends there. But then I had this internship that I currently have now at this company called Autodesk, and they are a software company. But basically, I had an internship there where I was working in their incubators. So they had like all these startups, and I got to work with them, bring their products to market, understand, what branding it takes, and essentially get these companies ready for their pitch and to ask for funding, all that good stuff. And I absolutely loved it. So I was like, you know what? I need something a little more creative, a little more people oriented. So I changed my major halfway through, and now I'm studying design and innovation management, which I am absolutely thrilled about. It is really, really where I feel like I'm meant to be. But basically, design thinking is centered around kind of making sure that you have empathy for your users and being able to use storytelling to convey like the needs and wants of both people and then kind of like what a company has to provide. So it's like that middle ground, and it can be between organizations, kind of anything you want it to be. But I'm really passionate about connecting people together and kind of trying to form a sense of a community, and bringing like a lot of positive energy to that. And I guess my three like things that are my why would have to be sustainability and wellness, whether it's mental and physical wellness. I am a fitness instructor, but I just want to encourage people to like take care of themselves. That's what I'm really passionate about. And then creativity. So yeah, I think those are my three whys, but obviously I'm still figuring it out. So that's all I know for now.
Fantastic, Cyan. Sounds like a very interesting journey. And when I think about any journey, I always think about a lot of ups and downs to get there. You know, there is no way that when you that the journey that you have is just like a straight line. Always hearing yes, always whatever you do succeed. So from the journey that you had, take us and tell us about a time that you faced a challenge, about that you faced a challenge that kind of overwhelmed you, and you were like, now what, you know, and tell us how did you get through it.
Um, I would have to say that would probably have been like changing my major. I know it's something that, tons of kids go through. It's very common, but it's like when you have something that you like and you're good at, but you want more, it's kind of a really hard balance of like you don't want to be greedy, but at the same time, like you need to find something that really aligns with your passion. And I think that's what makes people successful. And it's also like I started to think about it in a different way, like not how I would be successful, but how I could contribute to others around me in the most like beneficial way. Because yes, I could do something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I would be bringing the most value to the world around me. And so I think I just had to like reframe kind of how I thought about that. And so I could kind of pursue a different option. But yeah, it was just like changing your state of thinking.
So one of the things that you said that was very interesting was contributing to others as well. You know, the theme
Mhm.
of today's podcast is actually thinking win-win, and I want you to a little bit expand on that. What you mean to contributing to others? But before you do, you say that what we mean by thinking win-win is whatever journey that you have, you will go, you meet a lot of people, and you will need to do a business and build a lot of stuff with different people. There are two ways that you can think about it. One, that I'm gonna meet this person and we're gonna do this thing and I'm gonna benefit from it and that's it. Or we can think about it the way that we are in this, that we both gonna grow. We both gonna get something out of this relationship. We both gonna learn. We both gonna add something to ourselves, and that's what thinking win-win means. And when you think win-win, your relationships become long-term. Your relationships become more interesting. You both enjoy each other's company, and you never know, someone that you meet today, one day in the future may change your life. You know, like we all are thinking about that one phone call or that one person that we are going to meet, and they're just going to open the door for us. Yeah. So when you talk about the contributing other, what do you mean by that?
I guess it's kind of like what energy you put out into the universe, as like cheesy as that sounds. It's kind of like you want to be able to say that I at least tried your best to like influence others or impact other people's lives in a beneficial way. And it's kind of like I feel like we always grow up thinking about how we can improve ourselves. And yes, you always have to do that. But like thinking about it in a bigger picture of like, how can I help others at the same time? And like, it doesn't have to be just your friends or your family. It needs to be, like the community you're in or like the world if you want to make it that big. But just having, I think, a bigger picture in mind of what you want to do and what you want to influence, because I think that as much as is you're just one person. At the same time, it's like you're one person in the direction that you think can benefit others. So that's kind of what I mean by in a grander sense of things.
Cyan, last week, or actually it was 2 weeks ago, I had this meeting with my mentor.
Mhm.
And my mentor told me something that I ever since been doing, and it just been changing my relationships. And what that was basically a very simple thing. My mentor was always at anyone you meet anywhere, and no matter if they're superior than you or you all have a higher position than them, ask this one question at the end or any time that you meeting them. How can I help you? Let me say it one more time. How can I help you? When you ask that question, someone that like already has a lot of things, you feel like, okay, how's that gonna benefit them? But what it does is very interesting. It reminds that person that, okay, this relation that we're having is two-way. If someday comes and I need that person's help, they're gonna be there for me. They're gonna like that. The phone call I said. Like he was actually making an example. He was like, I was mentoring this one person, and I did not know why we are in this relationship, but he's a spiritual person. I'm also a spiritual person, and I also believe anyone that come across my life, there's a reason behind it, and there's a reason that I met that person. And 6 years goes by, 6 to 7 years goes by, and then he wants to start a project, and he is about leadership development, and he just think about that one person that like, hey, can you help me with this project? And then ever since, that person has been playing a major role in making that project a very successful project. 6 years, 7 years relationship, nothing. It was one way in terms of he was helping her, but that one time that we don't know when it's gonna come, it could be tomorrow, it could be 10 years from now, that we will both benefit each other. We will both find out a way that we will be helping each other. So, Cyan, um, I want to ask you this. I know. We you did a lot of leadership stuff. Uh, Currently, I think you're the president of this organization. Uh, if I say it right, it's a design management organization on campus, right? Did I say the title right?
Yeah, the design and innovation
Design
initiative
innovation, yeah.
club. Yeah, yeah. It's basically just in the major.
So when you think about leadership, what does leadership mean to you?
Um, okay, well, I think that everybody starts off with this image of leadership as like people just being told what to do.
Yeah.
And as the oldest sibling, like it was really, really easy to kind of like be bossy when I was little to my siblings. And I thought that was always so funny because over time, like you understand that leadership is just being like supportive and being kind of the guiding kind of just encouragement that people need in order to thrive. And it depends on who you're leading, obviously, but I think a good leader knows what support the people they're leading needs, and yeah, just to try to be there, be enthusiastic for the things they're trying to achieve while still guiding it in the direction of the goals of the organization, for example. Yeah, but just being the backbone that they can like count on as somebody who's going to be there for them and kind of help them achieve their goals that are in alignment with the bigger picture.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is when I think about leadership, I think about a job that it's I think as a duty. that you have to have this win-win type of perspective that you are the leader, but leadership, as John Maxwell says, has 5 levels. It's not just about being in charge. You don't only own the title, but has five levels. One is the title. The level two is building relationship with people. So a level two, like a leader who build a relationship. Level three leader is also responsible at the same time building a relationship and making a result. So you're also creating a good result. So then you're a level three leader. Level four leader that I think is a very great place to be, and is I have a passion of developing extraordinary leaders. And when I think about it, in my joining feature, I want to be level four and level five leader. So what level four leader does? Level four leader builds and develops new leaders that can in the future replace him, replace them. Do not think about, okay, I'm the leader. I don't have the duty of building more leaders because I'm the leader. Why do we need more leaders? But they think about, okay, if you wanna have a sustainable business or anything, we got to develop more leaders. And then level five leadership, that it is as John Maxwell says, is like a level that very few people will reach, are the people that build level four leaders, which is also very
Yeah.
important, right?
No, I think that's all really, really important because it's like if you're not thinking about how the entire process or organization can continue to sustainably like develop leaders and carry on into future generations, then it's like you're working to build whatever type of empire you're trying to build and it'll just disappear because there won't be anybody to maintain it or there won't be anybody to support the organization.
That's very important. I wanna reference. Yes, I am. What are we doing here at Yes, I am right now? Uh, this is my perspective. Right now at Yes, I am. We have I am the leader of Yes, I am, the founder of Yes, I am. And then we have officer positions, and then each officer have their own team. So the reason that we have this system is because we want to develop new leaders. I always tell ESM officers that you all are responsible of your team. Whatever they want, you gotta be there for them. You're their leaders, and they need to realize that uh, your people, your the people in your team should not come and talk to me because I'm not their leader. You are their leader, and if they need anything, they should come to you. Simon Sinek has something very interesting. Simon Sinek says a leader of an organization is not responsible of the customers and the outcome. The leader of the organization is responsible of the people in the organization, and the people in the organization is responsible of the clients and customers and the outcome. So I think what you said is very true about leadership, and at the same time you also said about contributing to others, which is what the major thing that a leader should do, to always try to contribute to others. So tell us, like, you had this up and down journey. If you want to think about a time that you faced like a leadership challenge, in terms of leadership, what was it, and what helped you to go through that and like succeed?
Okay, so this would have to be in kind of like the realm. I am a fitness instructor, but I like within that have taught different formats. Like
Yeah.
I've taught cycling, Pilates, high intensity interval training, if you know what that is, and then strength. And within it, there's kind of like these different attitudes that you have to bring to the participants in order kind of like that's expected for it, right? Where when you're in cycling, you have to be like semi aggressive or just kind of in people's faces a lot. And for me, it felt really unnatural at first because it's just not how I naturally operate. And like finding ways to motivate people in those different circumstances, whether you're really relaxed or calm or kind of, you know, in a crazier environment, having to like yell at people to do these things. It was a really big shift because it's like, how do you stay authentic to who you are? And you don't want to just sound like you're faking anything you're saying, but how do you take it and like turn it into your own style, I guess, while still bringing like a meaningful kind of connection and like, yeah, just basically I was struggling with bringing authenticity to that particular format of teaching. And after a while, I kind of found my niche in that. But then, of course, COVID came, and now I don't teach cycling anymore. I teach other formats, which I enjoy a lot. But it was a really big challenge for me to get over. And yeah, just like kind of looking inwards and understanding how you could do a take of the situation that would challenge yourself, put yourself out of your comfort zone, but still be authentic to who you are.
That's very true. Because we know when you're in a you're leading a group of people, each person has their own type of style. Some the people get motivated in a very different ways, and that's just so amazing. Like some people like just self motivated. They sit down and just get the job done. Some people and they're like, hey, how was it today? How are you doing? You need to build that relationship and check on that. And there's just so many ways, so many ways. But one thing that's very interesting to kind of touch base on and know is that no matter what style you have, I feel like first of all you should definitely keep your style, and then find a way that you can relate to those people. At the same time, when it comes to leading people, we want to make sure that we are not trying to change them. We are not trying to change them. That is very important. Uh, I don't. I forgot who was I was listening to today. That said something very interesting. That let people figure out what they need to do their own way, and trust them. Have trust on them that like you're gonna figure it out. I don't know why, but figure it out. It's your responsibility. You're gonna figure it out. I'm not gonna tell you, okay, no, you're gonna do it this way. You're gonna go do it that way. Did you do that? Because that's how I do it. It's not necessarily the way that will work for you. It's a similar thing, introverted people have a different approach than extroverted people. And for a long period of time, I felt introverted people cannot be public speakers. But I was wrong. I was very wrong. Introverted people can be such a great public speakers, but they just do it very differently. Very differently. Simon Sinek is an introverted individual, and nobody knows it till he says that I'm very introverted. If when I go to party, I'm just gonna sit there and then eat the cheese and cracker, you know. But the way that he does it, he like, okay, whenever I go to talk to a big group of people, I'm gonna look in the eye of one person and I say one thing in that one person because I'm comfortable talking to one person, but I'm not comfortable talking to the big people or like just looking at everyone. So I focus on like specific people and just say the words to those people. That way I can just talk, and like be fine. That's how he does it as an introverted. How I do it, I feel I see myself as an extroverted person. I just go there like, what's happening, everyone? I like everyone like, hey. That's my style, and everyone has a different way. So I think that's very important to keep in mind. If you're a leader that you're watching this, uh, always respect others, respect their ways, and have trust on them, because you don't know how they're gonna do it. But if you just tell them that I trust that you're gonna figure it out, and you keep them accountable, they will figure out the way that they're gonna do it, and you don't need to do anything else.
Yes, that's a really good point. And it similarly kind of transfers over because when I have participants, it's kind of like you need to encourage them to listen to themselves and kind of take note of where they are. And then, in instructing, it's a lot easier because the solution is to give them modifications and just make sure that they're being careful and listening to their bodies because it's about overall wellness in general. And I think that carries over into all sorts of leadership and just understanding that you can provide the tools that they might want to use, but it's really ultimately up to them to listen to like how their gut wants them to approach the situation. And yeah, just being encouraging for for their support system.
That's very true. So I always love to ask this question at the end of our podcast, which is very important because I think whenever I ask this question from ask this question to the guest, I learn a lot. There's always something that I learn from it, and anytime we have a podcast, I learn a lot from our guests. Today, I learned a lot from you, Cyan. The things that you mentioned about encouraging, contributing, these are such a great things that we all need to think about. And another thing that we always want to like tell people why through this podcast is we all everyone, we all are relatable. We are all relatable. We all have a common ground. Uh, I we all faces challenges. It's not like one person is the. If some people think like I'm the only one facing the challenge, no, it's not like that. I say this every time, and I'm gonna say this every single podcast. Life has ups and downs for anyone, but we have two type of people. That some people, when there's an up and down, when they go down, you can choose two different things. Number one, you choose the easy option, which is the game over. Game over. You face a challenge and you're like, nah, game over. The number two type of people are the people that face the challenge, although they fail, it's totally fine. They fail, but as Steve Harvey says, there's a blessing and there's a lesson in every failure that we have. So these type of people take the blessing and the lesson and they just go up. Next time, they're gonna go down again. And it's this time gonna be a harder challenge for sure. Because you already know how to face that challenge. That's not a challenge anymore. So you're gonna get have a bigger challenge to face with. Again, the two ways. So if you choose the blessing and the lesson, you're gonna go higher than the time before. And you just keep doing this, and you always choose the blessing and the lesson, and you go up for the bigger price. So I always want to remind people we all have ups and downs, and that's fine. That's just how the life is. We are not all supposed to be like straight up, like nobody got up there without a challenge. There's no way. There is no way you get up there like without the challenge, without the times that you're feeling down. Like, how the heck I should figure this out? But you will figure it out if you want to. So the last question I want to ask you, Cyan. Uh, it's very simple, but I'm pretty sure your answer will be very meaningful to all of the audiences of the podcast. From your whole journey, from beginning to the end, and the journey I'm talking about from the day that you born till now, till this day, what is the biggest lesson that you ever learned?
I would have to say the biggest lesson I've learned, and this mainly benefits, I guess, like the type of person that I am. I don't know if you can relate to this, but I am extremely optimistic. And just knowing that sometimes you need to pair that with a bigger, more realistic view in a sense. I know for a lot of people, they need more encouragement or more kind of excitement around scenarios. And I think just really finding that balance within yourself of being determined to go chase all of your dreams and work really hard at it, but then also understanding like the process and just taking it step by step while still like maintaining that optimism, but just not letting it cloud kind of the process or what you need to achieve.
That's such a great thing. Yeah, I'm very optimistic too. Honestly, I remember when we started SIM to 2019. We failed for sure because we had a different officer team, and it just did not work. But I was like, this is something I want to do. This is something that if we do it, when we do it, it's gonna have a great outcome, and it's gonna change lives. So I was like, okay, we gotta keep going, and then I found a new officer team, new people come, and then after a while, I was like, oh wow, look at it, like how different this is, you know. I when that time like I lost my officer teams, I could have just give up and say, okay, let's pick up a new project. But I was like, no, there's no way I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go make it happen. You know, that's the optimism that being optimistic means. You know, just be optimistic and make it happen. And in our previous podcast, Paul said something very interesting. He said that we all have a why. We all have a why. Someone will figure it out right now. Someone will figure it out when you're 40, 50. We try to tell you, you got to figure out your why right now. So when you get to 50, you don't feel like you lost the 50 years of your life not doing what was your why. So the why stays same for till you achieve it. But there are different ways to achieve it. So the how, why, how, what, you know, the how will change all the time. You know, Paul's why was I want to get a Mercedes Benz, you know, and then he tried two different ways. He was like he was first started I forgot. Oh, he started doing interior design, but he was like, okay, that's not how I enjoyed it. Enjoy it. Why? Because after I get that Mercedes Benz, I'm gonna pick up a new mission for myself. And then he thought about what skills do I need from now on to build. So when I go to my next mission, I'm gonna be ready. So he started doing real estate. So he started doing real estate to build all of the skills. So it's always great to know your why always stays the same, but your how you will achieve that dream, that big dream that you have, may change over time. You know, and you would always find out exactly the way it should be. And the day that you get up in the morning and you do not snooze your alarm is the day that you figure out what your why is, because then you know that you gotta get up out of the bed and make it happen. You know, I don't have time to sleep longer. You know, I just get 24 hours a day, and I gotta make it happen. So, any last words, Cyan?
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I cut out. You cut out. What did you say?
Any last words? Anything we want to add at the end?
Oh, um, I would say go chase that dream, but try to get that 8 hours of sleep. It's very important because you like I know all your dreams are like super exciting and you want to achieve them as soon as possible, but you got to take care of yourself in
That's
the
true.
process. And yeah, best of luck. I mean, look at how far this has come, and I'm really excited to kind of continue to learn more about Yes I Am. So yeah, thank you.
Definitely, for sure. Thank you for being this podcast. Now that you said that, I want to add one last thing. Yeah, the sleep is very important actually, and I try. I mean, I usually go 7 hours. That's like my thing. But there are four healths that we always want to make sure that we are healthy. One, are we mentally healthy, emotionally, spiritually, and physically? And the physically one is also very important. The other three ones, it all lives another role. But your physical, you cannot achieve any of them if you don't have a good physical health. If you don't take care of yourself, that's definitely very important. Eating a good food, exercising. I don't know if I told you or not, but I'm actually a huge fan of exercising. I used to do powerlifting and I did bodybuilding, and then right now there's nothing to do. The gyms are closed here. I just wishing the gyms to open back on to kind of go lift some weights. I'm definitely missing the dumbbells. Yeah.
Well, I would say that's awesome, and like nourishing your body through all of those means that you just kind of talked about, whether it's emotionally, through food, through the people that you hang out with, like how their energy affects you. Those are all really important things, and yeah, just keep at it.
Thank you, Cyan. Thank you, Cyan. It was such a great podcast today. Thank you all for tuning in and listening or watching us. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, yes, I am. Thank you.